It begins with silence, not the cinematic kind, but the kind that feels wrong. The tap water runs, but the phone won't load. The card reader flashes red. The ATM says temporarily unavailable. You open your banking app, and the number you've worked for your entire life is gone. Zeros across the board. You refresh again. Still zero. And that's when your stomach drops. Because the truth isn't that your money disappeared, it's that your access to it did. And that's the same thing. No alarms, no riots, just the quiet digital paralysis of a system we've mistaken for permanent. A financial blackout, invisible, total, and faster than any war. Across the world, pressure is building like a fault line about to give. Israel's precision strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities in June left entire regions smoldering, oil terminals on fire, and markets in freefall. Tehran responded by threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil artery. That single move could strangle 25% of global oil flow overnight. In Moscow, the Kremlin rejected every call for ceasefire and doubled down on its offensive in eastern Ukraine, pushing supply chains to breaking point. And as energy prices surge, currencies wobble, and shipping costs spiral, the entire global economy teeters on the edge of something unseen but unstoppable: systemic failure. If it sounds abstract, it isn't. When the dominoes fall, the first people to get crushed aren't billionaires or brokers, it's ordinary citizens, the grocery worker, the mechanic, the family that just paid off their car loan. Because the modern financial system isn't just fragile, it's fused. And when one fuse blows, everything goes dark. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, not because it helps the channel, but because when information becomes rationed, clarity is survival. Preparation isn't panic, it's control. And control, in the coming storm, is the only real currency left. So let's strip away the myths. What actually happens when your access to money disappears, and what can you do now to make sure you still function when it does? First, liquidity, the lifeblood of civilization. Most people think liquidity means wealth. It doesn't. It means flow, the ability to move value when systems lock up. In a crisis, it's not about how much you have, but what you can reach. That's why your first defense isn't crypto or precious metals, it's paper. Real, tangible, government-backed cash, enough to keep you afloat for 30 days of absolute necessity. Rent, food, fuel, and medicine. That 30-day window isn't random. It's the psychological and logistical buffer between panic and adaptation. It's the time it takes for local systems, barter, black markets, or civil distribution to reform. And when the ATMs stop working, small bills rule the world. 20s, 10s, 5s, even quarters, because in a cash-only economy, precision matters. The person who can hand over exact change becomes a preferred trader, trusted, fast, and valuable. Split your reserves into 3 caches. 1. A fireproof home safe, bolted and hidden. 2. Your EDC wallet, small and secure. 3. An off-site reserve, a shadow cache at a friend's home or your bug-out location. It's not paranoia, it's redundancy. A plan that survives even when your house doesn't. Next, metals. When fiat confidence dies, hard value lives. Silver, not gold, is your working currency. Gold is too large, too political, too hard to divide. But silver, 1 ounce, 0.999 rounds, move across hands, cultures, and crises. They don't depend on Wi-Fi, government, or faith, only on weight and purity. The world learned this in every hyperinflation event from Weimar to Venezuela. Fiat burns, silver stays. But money is nothing without motion. The system you depend on, banks, transfers, online wallets, all run through the same digital arteries. One cyber attack, one EMP, one sanctions cascade, and those arteries clot. So your next layer of defense is decentralization. Multiple banks, multiple channels, never one point of failure.
Keep accounts under $250,000, the FDIC's insured ceiling. And don't just look at your balance, look at your bank's architecture. National chains offer speed, but are prime cyber targets. Local credit unions often run on smaller, more resilient systems, sometimes even manual backups. Diversity is defense. And then there's peer-to-peer. When institutions freeze, communities improvise. Digital payment apps that allow direct exchange, even locally hosted cryptocurrencies, can keep you trading if power remains. Don't treat crypto as investment. Treat it as bridge currency. Store wallet keys offline. Print them, laminate them. Because when the internet stutters but doesn't die, mesh networks and radio-based crypto nodes can still push value across short distances. That's your lifeline when the banks go dark. But let's get real. For most people, when a financial collapse hits, the first real threat isn't losing their money, it's losing order. Without transactions, society slows. Without trust, it fractures. Supermarkets switch to cash only and empty out in hours. Fuel stations ration. Pharmacies lock up. Those who adapt early survive. Those who wait for the government wait hungry. And that brings us to the concept of functional independence. Functional independence means being able to operate without permission, to buy, sell, move, or trade without asking a server to approve it. It means having your essentials, food, medicine, water, fuel, within your direct control, and your ability to replenish them outside of broken systems. It's not isolation, it's autonomy. Let's talk debt, the quiet killer in every collapse. Debt doesn't vanish when the grid does. Interest doesn't stop ticking. It compounds in the dark. So now, while systems still run, clean house. Start with the high-interest parasites, credit cards, payday loans, and buy now, pay later traps. Every dollar you kill there is one less chain around your neck later. If possible, consolidate debt into one predictable, low-interest line. Simpler, slower, survivable. And for the debts you can't erase, your mortgage, your vehicle, go old school. Call your lender. Ask for offline forbearance procedures. Request the actual paper forms. Fill, sign, and print 2 copies. When systems collapse, the few who can physically prove prior communication become priority cases. Bureaucracy rewards preparation. Which brings us to the most overlooked category of survival: documentation. In chaos, paper beats memory every time. IDs, titles, deeds, policies, licenses, birth certificates. Keep originals sealed in waterproof sleeves. Duplicate them in a fireproof safe. Because when digital verification fails, the person with the folder becomes the person with power. Insurance works the same way. You can't claim what you can't prove. Print your policy declarations, payment records, contact lists. Store a copy in your get-home bag, because when servers crash, the adjusters will operate on paper. Show proof, get priority. Lose proof, lose standing. But survival isn't built on paperwork alone. It's built on people.
If a financial blackout hits, you won't weather it alone. Isolation is fragility. Build micro-trust networks now. Friends, neighbors, colleagues. People with different skills, shared values, and physical proximity. When supply chains break, skill chains replace them. Electricians, mechanics, gardeners, nurses. These become your currency. Barter networks aren't born after collapse. They're rehearsed before it. Approach it like community insurance. If the grid goes down, I'll trade fuel for food. I'll handle medical, you handle repairs. Write it down. Sign it. Small contracts hold big stability when panic sets in. And don't underestimate the psychology of collapse. When everything people trust evaporates overnight, money, work, security, they don't just lose wealth, they lose identity. Anxiety turns to aggression. Communities either organize or implode. Your preparedness plan should protect not just your wallet, but your mind. Have routines, structure your days, keep communication with allies. Fear spreads faster than inflation. Discipline is the antidote.
Now let's talk long game, rebuilding while the world resets. Because collapse isn't the end, it's a filter. Those who adapt rise through it. When the systems reboot, and they always do, you'll have leverage because you kept receipts, you maintained discipline, you diversified value. Here's your layered plan. Layer 1, liquidity. 30 days cash, split in 3 caches. Layer 2, metals. Silver rounds for trade, gold for mobility. Layer 3, redundancy. Multiple banks, each under FDIC caps. Layer 4, documentation. Physical records of identity and insurance. Layer 5, skills and network. Local resilience, trust capital. Layer 6, psychological stability, structure, calm, leadership. These 6 layers turn fragility into function. Not wealth into luxury, wealth into longevity. When the crisis finally hits, remember this. Panic is contagious, but so is control. People gravitate toward whoever looks like they have a plan. Be that person. Keep your gear organized, know your numbers, communicate clearly. You won't need to dominate, just demonstrate. Stability in chaos is the highest form of leadership. And when recovery begins, resist the urge to sprint back into the digital cage. Don't redeposit everything at once. Don't assume every system rebooted honestly. Watch which institutions reopen first and which quietly fold. Rebuild slow. Diversify local. Support community cooperatives, mutual aid networks, credit unions. Because real recovery doesn't come from Wall Street. It comes from the neighborhoods that stayed calm, shared, and rebuilt together. The collapse isn't a doomsday prophecy. It's a stress test for civilization. Every empire, every economy, every fiat system has failed eventually. The question isn't if, it's how ready you'll be when it does. If tomorrow morning you opened your phone and saw 0, what would you do? Would you panic? Or would you open a safe, pull out your reserve, and start executing the plan you built while the world still worked? That's the difference between spectators and survivors. Before you click away, remember, this isn't about fear, it's about foresight. Subscribe to The Survival Brief. Each week, we turn chaos into clarity, global tension into practical survival strategy. Because the world won't warn you before it resets. It'll just stop. And in that silence, the prepared won't beg. They'll adapt. Knowledge is your last currency. Spend it wisely. This is The Survival Brief. Your briefing starts now.